What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. Day one of the official free agency tampering period is kicked off with a bang. Everyone is signing players to agreements. Players are flying off the board left and right, and Pittsburgh is staying active. It has been a crazy 18 hours for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have very little doubt that as soon as I get off this video recording it, I'll have to bring you guys another video within 5 minutes of something else happening. While I've got a second here, I want to catch you guys up on what has happened so far. The legal tampering period has started at 12 o'clock p.m. As I record this video, it's 3:41. I was in the middle of working, and about an hour ago, a bunch of different Steeler transactional moves went down. Obviously, there's a video on DK Metcalf on this channel. I recorded it last night. If you guys want to hear the terms of DK Metcalf's contract and kind of what it means for quarterback, what it means for George Pickens, and how he's going to fit on the team, check that video out on this channel. We got DK Metcalf, all-star receiver, on a trade yesterday for a second-round pick and a 6th and 7th round pick swap from the Seattle Seahawks. Now we've got today's moves coming up. Number one, first thing we did today was sign Jaylen Warren to an extended tender. So Jaylen Warren's tender cost was going to be about $3.2 million. We signed Jaylen Warren to a $5 million tender. I think it's a one-year deal. So we have Jaylen Warren now under official contract for $5 million this year, raising him up from his regular tender price point, which means he is the running back one. He is the number one running back on this team. That signifies that Jaylen Warren is the guy here in Pittsburgh, and Najee Harris is going to be gone. He is saying his goodbyes. There's a post that just came out saying that he said his goodbyes to his teammates. The Najee Harris era in Pittsburgh ends here at 4 years. Jaylen Warren is back on a 5-year tender, I think for a $5 million tender, I think for 1 year. So Jaylen Warren is the guy here in Pittsburgh. I think that's is a expected and a positive move. The extra money going to Warren means Warren's going to be the guy, and I really want to see that. I think he's been the best running back in Pittsburgh for these past 2 seasons, and I want to see what he can do as the number one guy. Pittsburgh also saved $7 million by just cutting Larry Ogunjobi. Larry Ogunjobi is now gone. He was overpaid the past year or two. His injury stuff has kind of been... He's gotten older. He's gotten a little more injured. His productivity went way down last year after a good first 2 years here in Pittsburgh. He was costing too much money. He wasn't doing much. Even when he was healthy, he wasn't really super effective in plugging the lanes and getting tackles. So he's gone now. That saves us $7 million. We suspect Keanu Benton is going to move to the outside where he is and become a defensive end, leaving room for us to draft a defensive tackle, hopefully in the first round. So Lario's gone. That saves us $7 million. Speaking of saving us money, Dan Moore is gone. Dan Moore just got paid big money. I would say that is addition by subtraction for the Steelers. Positive move. Dan Moore allowing more sacks than anybody else in the NFL the second half of this season. And for the most part of his 5 years here, I would say at least 3 of those 5 years, he has not been great. He had one really solid second season and a good first half of last year. But for the most part, for the last 5 years, Dan Moore has been one of the weaker tackles in the NFL. He is now gone to Tennessee. They signed him, I think it was like $30 million a year. He just got a big deal, like a 4-year deal for like $80 million. Dude just got paid at least $20 million a year. I think it is, might be 30. But dude's got like a $50 million guarantee over in Tennessee now. Good for him for getting paid. He's had his moments, and I'm glad he's making his money, but that is a big addition for us. He is gone now, and we get a chance to move the guy we traded up to draft in the first round a few years ago, Broderick Jones, over to his natural spot at left tackle to let him get a chance to shine. So that's a positive. So Lario's gone, saving us money. Dan Moore's gone, giving us a chance for Broderick Jones. Jaylen Warren is re-signed, and Pittsburgh has now made their first big signing, free agent signing of the day today, signing big play veteran Darius Slay. Big play Slay, the Philadelphia Super Bowl champion, is now moving over in PA to Pittsburgh. Darius Slay was in my top 3 potential signings. I really wanted either Byron Murphy, Charvarius Ward, or Darius Slay as our new cornerback 2. I think Darius Slay is a very, very good signing here. I don't have the terms of his deal yet. I saw initially online it said 2 years for $40 million, so $20 million a year. I saw someone else say it was a 1-year deal, so I don't know for sure. So I'm not going to report contract terms because I don't know the official stats yet. But I will tell you, Darius Slay is a physical, hard-nosed veteran who has been consistently good his entire career. A lot of experience, a lot of winning culture, a lot of physical play, a lot of big plays and creating turnovers in big times in games. Big Play Slay is named that for a reason. Darius Slay has currently 12 years in the NFL, playing for both Detroit and Philadelphia. In those 12 years, he has 167 starts in 178 games. Dude plays, he stays mostly healthy, he starts when he plays. Very effective guy. In those 167 starts, 178 games, he has 28 interceptions, 160 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 619 total tackles, and 3 touchdowns. Big Play Slay is all over the field. Dude is a hitter. He can tackle in the run game. He knows how to pursue downhill runs on tackles. He's very physical on the outside without holding too much. He can teach JPJ a lot because JPJ has that physical style and that big body frame that Slay has. Big Play Slay also was one of the, I want to say, top 13 or 14 this year. I think he ranked 16th overall in percentage, but ranked as one of the lower, I think it was 16th in the NFL. Lowest completion against percentage this year. Didn't have any turnovers this year, but had a very low completion percentage against and a lot of pass deflections. Darius Slay is one of the best available players for one of the biggest holes on this team. In the past 16 hours, we have added DK Metcalf, a top 5 receiver, and Darius Slay, a top 3 free agent corner, to be our new outside cornerback too. That means JPJ and Big Play Slay are together on the outside at corner, filling the need for cornerback. We've got a receiver, we've got a cornerback, and that means the end of our time here for Dante Jackson. I think he's going to be gone now. The 1-year rental from Carolina. Played ball for us last year, but not nearly as consistently positive as Darius Slay. So a big signing there. Pittsburgh still got a bunch of money, and they're still restructuring and cutting guys and making more money. The problem right now is quarterback. Quarterback has not only turned into we have to grab a guy, now it is turning into a dire situation. All these moves so far are positive. Re-signing Warren, cutting Larry O, trading for DK Metcalf, letting Dan Moore go, signing Darius Slay. All very big net positives for us. The one negative is the quarterback room is dwindling. We opened up the day today by saying that we've been trying to get Justin Fields, and he had not committed to a contract yet because he wanted to visit the Jets, and he wanted to know he was going to be a long-term starter. We also heard the day starting saying that Sam Darnold and Aaron Rodgers were getting offered contracts and getting big talks. Now Sam Darnold's officially in Seattle. They have signed him to a big $100+ million deal. Darnold is the quarterback now in Seattle. Probably not worth that much money for one really good season, but the biggest name is off the board. Also, Justin Fields did go sign with the Jets. Pretty solid deal for him. Big loss for us. I think we all assumed Russell Wilson. We all assumed Justin Fields was going to be the guy. He was 4-2 here as a starter. In his 6 games, he had 10 total touchdowns and just 1 turnover. So overall, Fields looked to be the guy that Arthur Smith was a big fan of. Racking up now with DK Metcalf and George Pickens here. We expected, I think, Fields to be here. He's gone now. Fields and Darnold are both off the board. So that leaves us, in terms of big-name quarterbacks, with just 2. Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. I don't love either of those options. Those were the 2 I didn't want because they're both really old and they're both getting slower. Russell Wilson showed big poise at the start of his run. Started off like 4-1 for us. Started to air the ball out. Even though his deep balls were kind of floating a lot, but he was going downfield, making the most of his plays. When the season set in and his body got older and the league caught up to him again and he started kind of playing better competition, he finished really, really poorly. 0-5 in those last 5 games, looked very bad, was holding the ball too long, was leading guys into sacks, and wasn't showing the same arm strength or zip that he used to have. Russell Wilson, in my opinion, is kind of washed up. Aaron Rodgers, while he didn't have the world's worst season last year, his stats were better than the Jets' record was. He had way too stacked of a team to have less wins than Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson did more with the Jets team than Rodgers did last year, and in spite of not being as bad as people thought he was, much like Russ in Denver, he wasn't winning games, he wasn't looking productive, he was slowing down, and he wasn't looking anywhere near what he used to look like in Green Bay. That being said, I mean, he had Devontae Adams, he brought over Lazard, he had Hall there, he had Garrett Wilson there, and the Jets didn't do much. So yes, he's got some names here, but he slowed down quite a bit too. So now the options become, do you go for one of those guys? Do you try and trade for like a Kirk Cousins, who might be getting washed up in his own right, but still younger and has more of a ceiling left over than Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers do? Do you try and draft a guy in the third round? Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milroe, do you try and get a guy like that and hope they fall to the third round and hope that Aaron Rodgers can be a one-year mentor for those guys? Do you kind of settle for like a Jameis Winston or somebody while you draft a rookie? What do you do now? Because I think everyone thought the best options on the board were Justin Fields and then Sam Darnold, who are gone. So, yes, we've got a receiver. We've got more cap room. We've got our running back. We've got our cornerback too. The team overall is bolstering and looking good and got some money to spend. But the quarterback options are getting low. I'm going to get off here, see if they have signed somebody by the time that I stop this video. As soon as they do sign someone, because they're going to bring in someone, as soon as they do, I'll bring you guys that along with any other news the Steelers might have. Go Steelers. See you guys soon. Tell me in the comments down below, by the way, what you think of these moves, if you like these moves so far, and what you think we have to do, and who you want at quarterback coming into next season. I want to hear those things. Please like, share, and subscribe to these Pittsburgh Steelers Deep Dives, and I'll see you guys at the next video.